Hello, parents. I hope everyone is well. I recorded a message earlier this morning, but decided I could show up better for you. I needed to show up better for you just for my own sake. So I went for a long run. I went out, I cut some flowers, brought them inside, and decided to redo it. And one of the reasons I felt the need to do that is because we're going to talk today about how we show up for the people we love, how we show up for our kids every day, and what we have to do to show up in the best possible way. I woke up with a little bit of a heavy heart today. I received a couple emails from parents just talking about how much their kids are struggling. There's such a roller coaster going on, so many feelings, right? So many ups and downs throughout a day. And that's completely normal right now. We are really in a collective state of grief right now. Um, we're grieving our old lives. We're grieving our routines that are no longer. We're grieving future plans that are on hold indefinitely. Some people are grieving the loss of people. Some people are living in fear of people getting sick, and there's a lot going on that we are expected to manage. So I thought today it was really important to talk about how we can show up for our kids, how we can be our kids' best teammate. And I know we don't normally think about parenting as being a good teammate, but I actually think it's like a beautiful way to look at being a parent. So many times we as parents take on this pressure of, we think we know what's best, we think we know it all, and we have this pressure to kind of get kids to do certain things. And we think things need to be a certain way and they should be doing this. And a situation like this kind of throws it all out the window, right? It makes us realize that these systems we have in place here on earth, right? Like public education, going to school every day, going to work, going to soccer, going to theater, going to gymnastics, all these things, these routines we have in place, they're great and they're our normal and they bring a lot of joy to life, but they're also a little bit out of our control when something like this hits. So it's very unsettling for adults and children alike to deal with something that makes us feel so out of control. And for some kids, that is a really, really confusing, especially young kids. It's so confusing. Like everything they've known and they think is solid and they think is like a certain way is no longer. So, and we're all dealing with that. It's very unsettling to wake up and kind of not have your routine. So I thought we'd talk today a little bit about the emotional roller coaster that we're all on and how we can show up for our kids and allow them to process those feelings. And unfortunately, I should have had my magic wand. There's no magic wand. Some of it is just sitting with them and letting these feelings kind of process and work their way through. The good thing is no feeling lasts forever. They can last a long time. And some of these kids can really make feelings last a long time, but eventually every feeling passes through. So we at times have to be patient and just be there, be present with our kids. If some of you are worrying about kids who are not wanting to do schoolwork, some are angry, some are withdrawn. These are the stages of grief, actually, that you're starting to see. A child won't be able to tell you that, but that's really what they're feeling. Um, Acceptance is the last part of grief. And that's a part that a lot of us are not there yet. Once we accept where we are, we can move forward meaningfully. It doesn't make it easy, but we can move forward more easily. When we resist what is, right? When we just are longing for those routines, we don't understand, we don't want to do it this way, we want to do it another way. When we resist, we cause ourselves a lot of stress and angst. When we learn to accept where we are, then we can start very slowly to move forward a little bit more productively. So one of the ways that we can start to kind of see this being a good teammate is starting where our kids are, right? Be where they are and understand that their mental health is the most important thing right now. They may not have the emotional energy to be able to sit in front of a computer and do work, right? If they're too busy, worried and confused and anxious, that eats up a lot of energy. Stress really is an activation of energy. And if that energy doesn't have a place to go, it loads up on us, right? And it can cause a lot of symptoms. It can cause somatic complaints, physical complaints. It can start to cause in children behavioral manifestations. So the important part is finding ways to kind of lighten that load that we're all feeling. Some of us do that through exercise. Some of us do that through video games. Some of us do that through coloring or drawing. Find some things if we can. If your child cannot sit through a lesson, then they can't do it. No matter how much we want them to, they might not be capable right now. So all I'm going to say is this: we're giving guidelines for parents, and the teachers are doing an amazing job trying to learn this online platform and finding engaging content and finding, more importantly, ways to connect, to keep kids connected to their school community. Because a community is one of the best, we call it like an inoculation against stress, right? Being part of something is a really important connection. I always say connection is the cure. And that's what we're missing so much of right now. So even if this online platform is more of a connection, I'm not sure there's going to be a tremendous amount of like new learning. We're trying. And if your kid is there, great. And go with it. But what I'm saying is, don't feel the pressure, right? For your child don't have expectations. We go into it with an open heart and we try as best we can to help our kids do some learning, stay connected, keep their mental well-being going, right? Through other things that make them happy. And we do that by showing up, by embodying those things. We show up by being compassionate and forgiving of ourselves, right? And letting go of certain things. And then we are more willing to do that for them. This is going to take a whole lot of patience and forgiving over and over again. So we get the chance, but every day, this is the good thing. Every day is a new day to start over. And it is a little bit like Groundhog's Day, but it is a gift. So maybe this is what we're all meant to learn. We need to learn to take care of ourselves. We need to learn to take care of each other. And we need to learn to do it together while being separate. So find the things that inspire you, that make you feel good. Keep yourself showing up in the best possible way for your kids so you can embody all those things that you want them to learn from this process, right? And I just made a sign for us too, because we can do hard things. Again, I can't take credit for this, but it's what I've always believed too. We can do hard things. Our children can do hard things more than we realize, as long as we support each other in it, right? So take a breath, do the best you can with what you have. And if you're really struggling, as always, reach out, GallagherL@harborfieldcsd.org. Send me an email and we can always touch base. But we can do this. We're going to do it together. We can do hard things. All right. So have a great rest of the day, and I will be in touch tomorrow. Goodbye.